I'm outside. It's a pretty day outside. It's a whole lot better than just sitting around and not being able to go outside. But work calls, don't it? Work calls. Great day and a great day. Wait a minute. Hold on. Somebody's celebrating a birthday today, too. I said, boy, somebody loved it. You. Because, hold on. I'm going to do this live on the air. Just do it live on the air. Hold on. Boom, ba-doom. Boom, ba-doom. Mm-hmm. Say, bro, turn that pot on. There you go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hello. 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 Did we get the voicemail? Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
How are
I was
you?
getting ready to leave you a Pablo message. I was gonna say, this is Pablo calling from immigration. How
And I
are
would have
you?
hung up.
Happy birthday to you. I'm sitting in the chair telling everybody that we're gonna twerk it because it's your birthday. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ladies,
really, it was yesterday, but that's okay. I'm still celebrating.
are you still celebrating? Ladies and gentlemen, just in case y'all don't know who this is the Honorable Judge Dill Atkins, who is celebrating and still celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Hello, everybody.
So go ahead on and tell me what were the birthday plans? What did you do?
Well, yesterday during the day, I took off for the first time in a long time. I usually work on my birthday, and I made the day about me. So I did Manny Patty Spa, did some good deeds because, you know, um, it's my birthday. I want to bless others. And then
Mm-hmm.
last night, me, my daughter, and a friend went out to dinner.
Oh, that's a full day. You had a full day. You didn't take off. You had a
I
full
had a
day.
I had a full day and an enjoyable day, peaceful. I was able to get up and just do what I want, not be rushed.
Ain't that nice? Just to be able to do what you need to do or do what you want to do. Not just what you need to do, but whatever you just want to do.
Correct. So,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
so it was a peaceful and blessed day.
So that didn't happen today and tomorrow? I think y'all just gonna make it a week.
Uh, well, let's see if we could do that. I don't know.
You're not gonna get
I don't know if the weather's gonna hold up though.
and you're not gonna get everybody to be calling me telling me why you tell Judge Atkins to take the whole week off. You know we need her to do something. Mm-mm. And then they're gonna blame it on me. Yeah, yes indeed. But I am so glad that I had the opportunity to say. I think I put it on your Facebook too. I'm not certain. I think I did. Um,
Oh, okay.
but
Thanks.
but that too. Happy birthday. Many more to come. Well deserved day off. Manny Petty and any other thing that came that you wanted to do, as long as you got a chance to do it. And a lot of folks
Yes.
loving you. Oh, you know Miss Roberta. Tell Dale Atkins I said happy birthday.
That's my girl. That's one of my best friends. We've been knowing each other for a long time.
Yes, indeed.
One of my travel buddies.
That's all right. But happy birthday, well deserved day off, and take some more. Take some more time. You don't take no days off. You don't never. Not that I know
No,
of.
no, but you know what? We need to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. But many more to come. I know you're gonna have a good time for the whole weekend, especially yeah, and you right here at Jazz Fest weekend.
Absolutely. It's the best time to have a birthday. Jazz Fest weekend every year.
Well, enjoy your 25th birthday. I know that it is 25 this year because I know you're 24 last. Yeah, 25 this year. So happy 25th birthday to you. Yeah.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
I'm not ashamed about my age because it beats the alternative.
Yeah, that is true. The alternative ain't no good. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. But I
Well, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it.
anytime. But happy birthday. Enjoy your day and many more to come.
All right. Thank you, my
Okay, Judge.
dear.
Talk to you later. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
That is for those of you who didn't know, that was the Honorable Judge Dale Atkins celebrating her birthday actually on yesterday, but celebrating today too, and tomorrow, and Saturday, probably Sunday too, just in case you want it, and many more to come. All right, back to the name and game at hand here. 504-582-9422. I got a couple of things I got to talk about. I need y'all to know that I'm working on, number one, a special project that actually involves how some of our law enforcement is being handled today. And I'm trying to put everything together before I do it. That's why there is a delay, because there's more than just one person that is involved in this. I'm trying to make sure that I can bring it all to the table. I even got some folks in law enforcement like, if you're going to do that, I want to come to the table anyway. I want to sit down. And I know that they will do it, but I don't want to get nobody in trouble. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. So that's coming. That is coming. The second thing that we're working on right now is, trying to make sure that we got all the information that is coming out of Baton Rouge. So I'm working on getting some of those representatives to, and I know they got to be in session, so I'm getting some of them to be able to call in after they let out for the session and give us the details on some of these bills that are coming out, because I can tell you, there's a couple of them that made me go, y'all got to be kidding. And let me start off with this, having that conversation. It ain't just, or it just ain't. Either way that you put it. It's not just the legislators who are putting together these crazy bills. It's not. It made me go and ask the question, what? What y'all talking about? When I heard, I would say yesterday or day before yesterday, when I heard this, that your city council at large person, Mr. Red Bottoms, has gone to the legislature to try to get the home rule charter changed because of a trash contract. Oh my God. I don't know who sent you or who is pulling those strings, puppet. But you got to be kidding me. If you were going to the legislature in Baton Rouge to get a trash contract changed, or should I say, get the home rule charter of New Orleans changed so that it will change. Dude, I just wish you cared that much about New Orleans in itself and the areas of New Orleans instead of daggone being the puppet with the strings around you. So you look like you bona fide doing something. Hello? Can somebody help me with this one? You got to be kidding me if you think that that's okay. Who sent you? should be the words of the day. Who sent you? Whose water are you toting? Because if you just that ignorant, over one section of the area that gets everything, y'all get everything, and the other sections of the city get absolutely duty squat. That's DOODIE. Well, that's die. So do DISQUAT, duty squat. Look it up in the dictionary. Can't find it, I'll give you a definition a little later on. You don't get nothing. And you have the audacity to go and try to go to the legislature to get the home rule charter changed? Please don't run off the road, because somebody's going to think that they ran you off the road. Please don't run off the road, because there's going to be an investigation, and more than likely me sitting in this seat. No, they wouldn't say Gerard did it, but they would put me in their conspiracy to say that he knew about that. Somebody was getting ready to do it, and I know who they would blame for it. Who would they blame for it? Even though that he be in meetings and everything, they'd be done said that Troy Henry done ran the man off the road, ran him in the bayou. Even though that he would be in his office in meetings, he would get the blame. Well, where did he run him to? He ran him off the road. Well, where did he go? Down in the bayou. That's terrible. But I'm thinking to myself, how drastic of a measure is this? Are you trying to get that put on the ballot? That the rights of our home rule charter, our mayor, should be tasked again? Because you think that the council should have more power or different power than what you got? Because what's being talked about is you all overstepping your bounds. That's what everybody's talking about. And they might be right. What y'all think? I mean, this man is going to Baton Rouge to try to get them to change the power of the city council so that they can control contracting, how it's been done for over 30, 40 years here. But what happens when your job changes, or your predecessor's job changes, or the lady that's sitting beside you that has the vice president position? How about if her job changes? Will you all then go back to get this changed again, or no? 504-582-9422 is my number. All right, let's take a break here. We'll take the break. We'll come back. We'll have some more conversation about this in just a few minutes. This is a serious topic. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
I'm David Patan Sr., owner of Whole Water and Food Over Medicine Academy, coach, consultant, and instructor. We're excited about our 21-day challenge. Stop, prevent, and reverse disease today. Cholesterol, diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, along with chronic illnesses and diseases. We believe that the gift of wellness is the greatest gift, and for $30 per month, $1 a day, you could have this gift for you and your family.
I'm Phyllis Washington, and I've benefited with health and weight loss.
For your gift of $30, healing and wellness can be yours. Call 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. The Whole Water Store. See you at 2135 Washington Avenue today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at beyondthestagellc.com/campart and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Everybody's like, what? My text message just started going off. They're like, what you talking about? What you talking about? I've gotten that 3 times now. What are you talking about? I am talking about, since they don't get their way, because the law ain't good enough for them. Now, how many years have we also been doing contracting in the state of Louisiana, where the lowest bid, number one, is always been the process. And of course, if they can provide the service, the resources, have the resources to do it. Well, he ain't got no trucks. He ain't got no trucks to provide no trash. He got people that do have trucks. It's called subs. Every one of them do, including the one they want now. He got subs. Y'all think all those folks work for him? They're subs. Well, he didn't do his DBE. Yeah, he did. He is a DBE. They tried that one too. I think Scoot tried that one. Talking about he ain't no DBE. I think that he woke up that way. If the last time I checked, he was already black. So the article that's in NOLA.com says Louisiana lawmakers push to change who controls trash pickup in the New Orleans French Quarter. What? Yeah. They are trying to control who picks up trash in the French Quarter. That's the part that makes me go, when did we have this problem before? Oh, I know when we had this problem before. When the trash contractors that won the bid during Ray Nagin's term ended up being black. That's when we had that problem. We ain't had that problem when Waste Management had the contract and had trash all over the city. Y'all remember when, what's her name? The council person, Jackie Clarkson, when she said she'd never vote for them again. Ever. And then who came in and cleaned up the city? Oh, 2 African-American contractors. And they were pissed that Jimmy Woods and Alvin Richards had the resources to bid for those contracts. Now, they had trucks, and they still didn't want them to do that. Y'all remember that? So, wading into a raging political battle over who should keep New Orleans French Quarter clean, Louisiana lawmakers advanced legislation Wednesday. Now, you heard me say what I said. I said they advanced legislation Wednesday that aims to wrest authority from the city's mayor by letting a state-created board in the historic neighborhood center or enter sanitation contracts. What? Yeah. Sponsored by State Senator Jimmy Harris and drafted with support from New Orleans City Council members, Senate Bill 195 would allow the 13-member French Quarter Management District to secure emergency contracts for sanitation services. When do we need that? And I'm a little shocked. Maybe I should call him and ask him, because I don't know exactly what that's going to be like. Why are we creating a legislative board to secure sanitation contracts? Is it me? Is it me? Because I'm trying to figure this part out. Why are we creating a board to secure sanitation contracts for the French Quarter? And then the question I would have more so, and he'll probably want to talk to me about it. I don't think this is going to be a beat down of Jimmy Harris, but I do think that he's going to have to answer this one. Like, is this a political favor? What's this for? Why are you securing this crap for who? For who? For what? Because in a minute, I'm going to sound like an owl if I keep asking questions. We securing a board. Because y'all know what this sounds like, right? Y'all know? Y'all don't know? In a minute, everything in the French Quarter is going to have a board to say yay and nay. Y'all think about that for a minute. There's no other part of the city that has a board that everybody has to be on to say yay and nay for the city. Everything in the French Quarter goes through the Vauquerie Commission. That board there, to me, is the board that says no to you, or it gives you every excuse on why you can't open up a business there. And they call it the business mecca. But if you have a business and you want to get those people to buy into your business, you can't until the board says you can. And you got to go through hell and high water to be able to get your business within there. And did you know I guess the latest statistic of how many businesses are in the French Quarter that belong to us It's less than 1% of 1%. Wait a minute. It's what? It's not 1%. It's less than 1% of 1%. The majority, or just about all the businesses that are in that mecca of making money in Louisiana, belong to probably half or even more of the folks that don't even live in the district. But they don't look like me and you. They do not look like me and you. So if I'm poverty stricken and I can't get anybody to understand what I'm going through to make money, and I can't get the opportunity, because everybody is going to say, nope, 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 nope. What's the name of the board? Y'all just might as well call it the New Orleans Nope Board. It's called the New Orleans Nope. Not Nope. That's part of the Divine Nine. I said the New Orleans Nope Board. Not note, as in get a pen and let's take some notes. Nope. N-O-P-E. It's going to be New Orleans Nope Board. And I'm really surprised because the statistics, the history of anything coming out of the French Quarter has been more against us than for us. And it's apparent to me, it don't matter how much damn money you got. What? So let me use my example. My example of a contract that I know that they already have. I'm talking about Henry Consulting. They already had, which was to clean up the DDD, the Downtown Development District. And they had the machines. They went and bought the machines. That they had the sweepers and running over the sidewalks. They did all the different cleanings, the airport, all the other stuff that they did. That, you know, they ain't looking for no. They're not looking for nobody to give them credibility and say, da da da. He ain't looking for no credibility. You already got credibility. So I can do that too. Only thing I got to do is sit down with my sub and say, hey, we want to use you to dump the trash in the back of your trucks. What? Is that what we having an issue with? Well, can he make it smell lemony fresh? Did y'all know that he got the lemony fresh stuff too? He put that in his contract. The one they want to keep didn't. What? So get ready. I want y'all to know the New Orleans Nope Board is coming. The Nope Board, yep, the Nope, N-O-P-E, Nope Board is coming. If it passes through the legislature. Now, my question is, how much other stuff is this going to affect? Because if you pass this one, you got the Vucare Commission, you've got all these different boards for 13 blocks. Not for New Orleans East. You already got what? No, the New Orleans East business folks out there. Let's see what you got in Algiers. Nothing. My whole point would be we're going to have more boards, more somebodies that think that they're important, and less development of new businesses that can do business in the French Quarter if we keep on putting these boards to be the Negro blockers. What did you call them? You heard me. The Negro blockers. And what we're going to end up with, going back to court. Now, the judge already done said, hey, this is what's going to happen, da-da-da, da-da-da. And I guess that's why Troy quiet. because he like, just give me my contract. Let's move on. Because ain't nothing he can do about it. He can cry, scream, and bitch about it all he want to, but the judge said and ruled already. So we'll end up doing what? Going back to court. Going back to court. What you gonna call the board? No, the note board. Nope. Hey, I got a business that I want to open up and da-da. Nope. Well, I'd like to volunteer my time to come down there and nope. Well, when the essence comes and da-da-da-da, could we? Nope. I got a transportation company that I would like. Nope. Well, I can cook and da-da-da. Nope. Well, I got a truck that, I got my stove and all of my wieners and all that other stuff in the truck. Nope. Well, when we go down to the convention center, we want to be able to. Nope. 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 And I want to make myself perfectly clear that, what you need to learn how to do is also be able to say, like, if I'm bringing something up in public, I'm making it look like it's the way that I want it to be. Oh, we don't do business that way. Okay. So let me ask a question. Has any other contract been put together where somebody has to take care of part of the bond now and can take care of the rest of it later? Any other contract ever? So the question is all this hoopla behind Troy's contract and Henry Consultants' contract, is this contract really about Troy Henry? Nope. Oh, we got the board back here. The board note, the note board. Is this contract about him? Nope. What this contract about? Anybody in particular? Yep. Yep. Anybody else? Yep. But why wouldn't they want this to be done? Because somebody running for mayor? Yep. Oh, I watched the tape. I watched the whole hearing. And when I watched the hearing, I was like, boy, that's interesting because we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Hide this, hide that. Who going to pay for that? Who going to pay for that? Anybody ever asked the question, who paid for the building collapse on Canal Street? Where we get that money from? You think we got that from the insurance company that was from them? Nope. Oh. Where we get the money from? Us. Let me see what else happened. How many buildings have fell down in the city this year alone? 2 or 3? Yep. How many folks had to clean them up? Was it their folks or was it the city's folks? It was the city's folks. Y'all knew that, right? Oh, y'all didn't know. It wasn't the insurance company that had to pay to clean up all those bricks, the folks' cars that got hit. It was the city that was responsible for that. That's your inspectors. Oh, by the way, how many inspectors were on the tape and didn't do right? And y'all ain't say jack. Even when some of you all knew. Oops. Did I say that? Even when some of y'all knew. What's this about? This is about politics. This ain't about no contract. I just think that if we take a look at this, it said that that bill moved unanimously from the state's local and municipal affairs committee Wednesday, advancing to the full Senate. It did? Yep. How many folks? I mean, think about something. Y'all think about this for a minute. How many folks in New Orleans, in the Senate, I'm sorry, not in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, at the Senate level, look like me and you, have control of what we need to be in control of, get our way, and don't have to go through the home rule charter or whatever it is, because that's what we violating. We violating our own home rule charter. And we're doing it for a trash contract. We're going to invent the Committee of Nope. For a trash contract. Y'all know how long we going to be in court with this? We're going to be in court for months, if not years. The question is, will it go on and move forward until the time that we see? Now, the question that you should be asking is how much money have we as a committee, community, legislators, city council, or anything else that sounds important, have we spent already with these attorneys, lawyers, political consultants, fighting this out already? How much we spent? Nobody's saying jack. And how much have we spent with those attorneys that lost? Because they lost. No, they not lost as in, well, you know, we don't know which way to go. No, I mean, they lost in court already, at least 3 times. Charles Rice said it. Troy Henry said it. And even the opposition's attorney said it. Yeah, we lost. Huh. But you ain't losing no money. How much you spent? How much you charging the city? Every single time that you go to court. I think Bruce has asked me some questions about why they not ask Metro why they lost out on his contract. Well, first of all, I don't think Metro put in for a bid on this one. And the other thing is, when he did have a city contract as far as being one of the vendors for trash, I did interview him. As a matter of fact, we did a 2-hour show. You need to go back and either listen to it or stop trying to put me in check and listen. Because he did tell it. He told it on the air here live before anybody else heard it. Well, don't you hate bullcrap? You trying to put me in check? I did interview him. And he sat right here in his chair and told you, if you didn't hear it, clean out the wax or make it a point to listen. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold up.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 Minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. My number 504-582-9422. You can call in with your topics of conversation as well on this one, because I got some folks online that are telling me, well, you need to do this and do this and do this. I don't need to do nothing. I do not need to do nothing. You need to check it up. Stop trying to put me in check. Because what I said is what I said. I didn't go back on it. I already did mine. Do yours. I've already explained mine. Explain yours. Here's the other one that I know we're going to get into this conversation as well. I'm having some type of mixed emotion on this one, because I know it's coming here. I know that it's coming here. I'm not even going to say I think it might, maybe, none of that. I know it's coming here. The Supreme Court appears inclined to allow the first taxpayer-funded religious charter school. The Supreme Court's conservative majority on Wednesday appeared Wednesday to clear the way for the creation of the nation's first religious charter school funded directly with taxpayer dollars. The justices heard arguments on a landmark dispute from Oklahoma, where the state Supreme Court last year blocked the Catholic Church from receiving a charter school contract on grounds that it violated state and federal constitutional bans on government-sponsored sectarian education. A decision overwhelming and overruling the state high court would have ripple effects nationwide, especially in the 45 states that are home to 8,000 charter schools serving more than 3.8 million kids. Can you all imagine what that would look like here? How many of our charter schools would probably go dark if that happened here? Are you for it or against it? Would you be for it or against it? State-run charter schools, I'm sorry, not even state-run charter schools, Catholic church-run charter schools that use your money when there's supposed to be some type of separation of church and state, and there has been so much controversy about schools that could be private. Because I don't understand it. Aren't Catholic schools supposed to be private schools? Yeah, they're private schools, right? Yeah. So if they're private schools and they go by the same rules, and the money that they're going to use to run is public money for public schools, what's that going to look like? Would you think that that's going to happen here in the state of Louisiana? Y'all think about that one. That's going to be, this is going to be a hot topic very soon. And I know Dr. Wyatt going to lose her mind. Yes or no? Come on, 504-582-9422. Do you think that public money should go to the Catholic-run schools if they're going to be charter schools? And should Catholic schools be running charter schools? That's probably a two-pace type of question. Lawyers for the Prospective School, St. Isidore Seville Catholic Virtual School in Visit, insists that it is privately created and controlled, and that excluding it from general available charter school funding is religious discrimination. Now we have heard the turn of the tide saying that, oh, if you don't include us, this is religious discrimination. So did y'all make that up, or did you really not want to use what it's really called, and that is the difference between church and state, instead of calling it religious discrimination? It's in the Constitution as far as what I know. I didn't hear religious discrimination. Did you? And for more than 2 hours, the justices debated application of the First Amendment's competing religion clauses to the case, weighing both its prohibition of state establishment of religion and its protection of free exercise of religious faith. You can practice any religion you want to. Ain't nobody trying to stop you from practicing your religious faith. We just trying to get you to pay attention to the law. That's just like telling me, well, you know, you can carry a gun. It's your rights as a citizen to be able to carry your gun. But if you shoot somebody, that's a whole nother story there, ain't it? So the court's 3 liberal members were united in the view that the charter schools are public institutions that cannot advance a specific ideology using taxpayer funds. The essence of the Establishment Clause was, we're not going to pay religious leaders to teach their religion, says Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Think about that for a minute. we are now moving into an establishment where we're going to pay the religious leaders to teach their religion. Everybody ain't Catholic, but I want my child to go to a nice school or somewhere close. And if your curriculum is good, I know in Catholic school, you got to go to church too. But what if I believe in Islam, but the school is a charter school that's right across the street, round the corner, 2 blocks away? You got to call it a neighborhood school, and I want you to go there because it's in the realm of education that I believe in. Should I also be subject to hearing what your faith is? And as much this is going to sound bad. I know all my Catholic folks getting ready to turn their radio off. I know y'all are, but I got to say it. If there is any type of something that you all need to have to qualify for this, and you're telling me that this is the Catholic Church, the archdiocese, that is asking to be able to do this and taking it to the Supreme Court, wouldn't it be suitable to say, let's clean up the other mess first? We talk about the kids again. Wait a minute. Hold up. I need to know what y'all gonna put in process. Instead of having these folks that we don't trust altogether. You can't tell me that folks trust them altogether. It can't. And there's going to be priests involved. You can't trust all the priests yet. You can't. And you want me to leave little Johnny and the football team with the pastor and the priest? No. Can't. Not yet. Oh, Gerard, I don't believe you said that. You better believe it. You better believe it. Why would you believe that some people are going to... I don't understand. I don't understand how you... Well, you know, Gerard, they don't have nothing to do with the decision making. Yeah, of course they don't. But if the decision is made to be able to say you want to take the Catholic Church to have charter schools, does that mean that you're going to do or abide by the rules of federal law? Background checks. Are you going to abide by the law of? That's what I need to know. 504-582-9422. How you feel about it? We got to take a break here. So go ahead on. Light up the lines. I know that some of y'all threw some holy water and did a couple of Hail Marys. But that's what you got to do if we got to have these conversations. You don't feel comfortable? I don't either. But you still need to talk about it when you don't feel comfortable. 504-582-9422. More coming up, y'all.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Mike Waltz is out as National Security Advisor, according to multiple reports. This comes after Waltz faced scrutiny for mistakenly adding Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg to a Signal Group chat that discussed plans for a military strike. Democratic Senator Tim Kaine.
I'm not surprised that there is turmoil after the Signalgate fiasco.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is criticizing President Trump's first 100 days in office.
Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy in real time, and they are driving us toward a painful Republican recession.
Jeffries held a recent news conference calling on Republicans in Congress to put a stop to what he described as insanity. And Ryan Coogler's blockbuster Sinners will get another IMAX release this weekend. Get BIN News now, on demand, 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Man, we got things to talk about. So I'm getting text messages from folks. Let me tell you what I just got. I'll send this to you. Gerard, listening to you right now, man. Great topic. I like the topic and stuff, but nobody's going to call you about it. I said, why do you think that? I sent him a text message back. Why do you think that? It said, because you make people feel very uncomfortable having a conversation about God in their church. And so I'm sending back this text message. I got about 5 text messages. I'm sending back the text message saying that might be the problem. They feel comfortable going. They don't feel comfortable talking about it until it happened to your kid. (504-582-9422). That's all I can say. What you say, cousin?
Hey, cuz, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Can I correct you on something you said the other day?
The other day?
Yeah.
Why are we going back to the other day?
Well, we could deal with the day. It doesn't matter.
Thank you.
All right. Just the law requires all school-age children to attend somebody's school that the state, federal government, and the city pays for.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? State law don't say all school-age children should attend somebody's school?
No, sir.
What it says?
Most of our kids that are going to public schools, charter schools, private schools, and don't forget, you forgot one part of this that everybody seems to leave out. Homeschooling. I can homeschool you. You ain't got to go in nobody else's building.
But it's still a school. All school-age children should attend somebody's school. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to stand on.
Okay.
Now, where the schools are could be up for discussion, but they shall attend somebody's school, school-age children.
Okay. Go ahead. What else you got?
And public schools are paid for by public funds, state, federal, and local. Correct?
Wait a minute. What?
I said public schools are paid by state, federal, and local funds.
Okay.
So as a parent, if I want my child to get, let's say, a better education than the public school might be providing with a religious component, then the parent shall pay for that additional schooling. Although the parent still pays for public education, that's the choice of the parent to want to give their child a different type of education.
But there's no Catholic school that operates charters. None. That's public. That's public school. Charter schools are public schools. A lot of people don't like to call it that, but charter schools are public schools. There's no private operator that runs those public schools that are religious based. That's what we call the separation of church and state.
that part of it is correct.
That's the only part that counts. When you're making that decision, that there's no and. That's it. The Catholic Church is a private institution. It is not public for you to be able to run a public school. That's religious. If you want your child to go to a religious institution, more than likely that institution is private. It's not public.
Now, I make the argument, if you ever played sports in a public school, there have been prayed, and the law says now that it must be led by a student and not a faculty member.
And all of them do not have to take part in it.
It's not mandatory,
And
but
they can
you're
go
a team
and they
player.
don't have to do it. They don't
Yeah.
have to do it. So if you're going to tell it now and you know better, tell the whole story.
But as a team player, you don't want to ostracize yourself by not wanting to be blessed. You see it professionally.
That's an opinion. That's not the truth. That's an opinion. That's your opinion. That's a religious man's opinion. Amen to you.
But I'm still saying
I'm with
they have prayer in school.
I know what you're saying, but that
All
is
right,
not
okay.
mandatory. And
No,
if
it isn't mandatory.
No, it's not. It is not. It is not mandatory. If I say to you, okay, let me give you a better example. If you're telling me that it is mandatory that I got to participate in the prayer and saying the Ten Commandments and all of that, and I'm Muslim, then we got a problem. My child is not going to that school because you are violating the rights of my child.
But that's a parent choice. You
That is
chose
not a
not to
parent's
send
choice.
your child there.
That is not a parent's choice.
You just said your child not going to the school, if you must.
No, I said we're going to have a problem.
Okay.
I didn't say my child wasn't going to the school. If you're trying to make my child take on the Catholic way of doing religion and I'm Muslim, we got a problem. And it's public money, we got a problem. If my child is, let's say, Buddhist, and you try to make my child Catholic because you want her to take on the Catholic religion, you got a problem. My child don't have to do that. So why does the Catholic Archdiocese want to take on these schools when that's public money? Why? Come on, tell me why.
You get money any kind of, legally to run a school. Now their parents pays.
Did your child go to a public school or a private school? Because I'm gonna tell you, if you want your child to go to private school, you got to pay other than the taxes that you're paying. You double dipping. You got to pay.
You are.
And the majority of those Catholic schools have deals with the banks where you got to go to that bank and take out a loan for somewhere between $7,000 to $9,000 a year, at least. And in some of those places, you got to take somewhere between $9,000 to $15,000 a year for them to go to school. That's private money.
Are you forgetting about the voucher system that they have created?
Voucher system is public money.
That's right. They go to the private school.
Not necessarily.
But yes, they do.
They trying to get it to go to the private schools. Even one, I can remember when they tried to do it one time before when, what's his name? What's the man's name? Pachuca, or whatever his last name was. When he was the governor, they tried to get it then. And guess what? When they did do it, the judge in the case said, we're just going to see how that go. All of that changed. Hello?
I'm here. I know they had vouchers. I know they did.
I know they had vouchers at one time. That was during Jindal's time.
Yeah.
But all of that changed when they figured out that that's all public money.
True. And like I said, I remember the argument was that the parent participated in paying public money for public education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And guess what? They fought that thing. That is what kind of money? Public money. Now they're trying to tell me that they want to have the private institution called the church to have charter schools. But what they're not telling you, and this is what I'm trying to get you to understand, and this is why I'm trying to get everybody else to understand that. They can call it charter all they want to. A charter school is a public school that gets public money to operate. Charter schools are no different than your public schools. They just got a different name. And I'm offended that these folks are sitting back and trying to sit around to make it think like, oh, the charter schools are charter schools. They're better than public schools. They are not. They ain't no different than public schools. They just got another name. And that's the slickness that I think that some of us don't seem to understand. It's just got an operator that's a charter operator. And Catholic schools and the church are not charter schools. They public schools.
Gee, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go. On our dollar, it said, in God we trust, and everybody spends that God dollar.
And your point is what?
God is a religion, or at least we say we use the name for religion, that is on public money. And we never separated it.
What?
We never separated it. God on all our money, God we trust in America.
You driving today?
I just pulled over.
Okay. I need you to go on inside and stop sipping the syrup while you driving, because something wrong with you on this one. I don't know.
Look, gee, I'm over here in front of the church.
You
but anyway,
say you a couple of Hail Marys then, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to lay hands on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You take care. Look, hit me back. I'm going to tell you something about that Father mess that you came up with.
Right, I'll call you later.
We having a Father Day program in our church June the 15th. And all fathers and sons, grandfathers, grandsons, uncles, and nephews invited.
June the
from
15th?
2 to 5.
You
over
said
here at St. John Institution Missionary Baptist Church.
All right.
So we'll be talking about it later.
All right. Good enough. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, G.
All right. Evan.
Well, G, how you doing today?
What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just sitting there listening stuff to the WBOK family and the flyby listeners. And yeah, Pop, stop sipping that syrup.
Sipping on the scissor.
So let's since we at church, let's go ahead and address the public notes right quick. So for the people talking about what you should do and didn't do and all this other stuff, obviously y'all, that's why I call y'all flyby listeners. Because not only did you do one interview, you did 3. You did one together. You did one with Mr. Alan Richardson by himself, and then you did one with Metro.
Yep.
On 3 different occasions.
Yep.
About 3 different topics at that, but all concerning the garbage contract.
Yep.
So stop it with all that, bruh.
And then the sanitation department representative for the city came in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know I ain't crazy. I know I didn't
You
dream
know,
this.
So stop that, bro. Yeah, if y'all gonna say something about it, we keep trying to tell y'all we black, okay? So we trying to make sure that we get enough viable and right information out there, because we know if we get out there with the false stuff, this is where we going to where we at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, yes, there have been contracts that have been let that weren't, you didn't know all the scope of the work and everything like that. You know what that contract was called, G?
What was it?
The airport contract. To build the airport. You know how I know? Because at that particular time, when that contract was being let to build an airport, I was working for a different company that was in that business, and that's why we didn't bid on it, because the boss that I had at the time was like, there is no way we're going to give 60% of the plans, and y'all want us to bid on 100% of the work if we don't know what the other 40% of the building is going to look like.
Dang.
But I digress. So now let's go ahead and address Pop. G. I didn't understand the title of this movie, X-Men Days of Future Past, until now what's going on right now. Because we are the Days of Future Past. I didn't understand that topic of that movie. I like the movie. It's an X-Men movie, Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are watching Days of Future Past in real time. Because yes, G, there is in the Constitution as a thing called the separation of church and state. We're not talking about the church. We're not talking about the people's religion, nothing like that. We're talking about the Constitution. And wait a minute, though, G, before I even go with that, but I thought we was getting rid of DEI, division, equity, and inclusion. You heard me? Because if you can't use public dollars to do a school, so that means we got to include you. So that means you part of DEI. Come on, man. Next thing. So now, G, when you start looking at this stuff, when I say take...
Wait. All right, I'm catching up. Now, go ahead.
You know? So now when we talk about Days of Future Past, that was the purpose of trying to set up the voucher for the Catholic school, because at the end of the day, let's call a spade a spade. The Catholic school need the money.
Yep.
So where are we going to go to get the money, G? Well, you know where they got a cash register. They got straight cash every day, all day. The public money. That's why every time you turn around, we want a new tax. We not talk about specific villages that are already here, not trying to go there. But I'm just saying, when you start talking about whenever they need something, what they say, oh, man, we're going to raise your tax. Matter of fact, no, we ain't going to raise your tax. We're going to give you a fee. You're going to give you a $24 fee on your water bill for trash collection that you was getting twice a week. And sometimes when Richards and Metro first got the contract, even after Katrina, when I remember they were doing it 2 and 3 times a week for the same money. But don't worry about that. That was just us being crazy. We wasn't paying attention back then. So now, when you come to, we're gonna be able to tell parents that they can take a voucher and go to any school that they want, to any kind of Catholic school. Gee, I went to St. Joan of Arc for 2 or 3 years. I remember my mama had to go and daddy had to go get a second and third job to pay for me to go to a private Catholic school that they wanted me to go to, other than the free public school that they didn't want me to go to, Robert E. Lee. Johnson.
I have a problem with several different things about, this situation. And I want everybody to understand something. If you're Catholic, I hope that I'm not being offensive to you and your religion, but I need y'all to understand that I don't trust the Archdiocese. I have been here too long at this radio station to hear the anguish of the majority African-American Catholic folks that have lost their parish, lost their church, because there's a combination of churches that have been put in place because they say they're not bringing in enough money or this is da-da-da-da. But before this issue of having to pay back or pay out all of these families that these priests hurt these young boys with, I never heard of that. So that's why, go ahead. You can go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good.
I'm talking to somebody else. I'm talking to somebody else.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
But when I'm hearing all of this, I didn't see this to happen to smaller, white, basic white parish or churches that had less, didn't bring in as much money. I didn't hear that these churches were closing their doors because they wanted to sell the building. I heard the majority of it being African-American churches, and I didn't appreciate that. So, and I didn't understand it until I got into it really And when I heard, the anguish of people calling me and telling me that, I raised my child in this church, I did all these different things in this church, it made me understand something. And that part made me say, I don't believe in this and how the Catholic folks that just happen to be African American are treated in that church. And you all still stay there. I got a problem with that.
And in closing, because I hear the music, and in closing, when we talk about this Days of Future Past, as we putting in place authoritative type government, we are watching the pieces being put together right now for the next, what we always said in the beginning, G, when the Republicans come to the table, they already got a plan for the next 15 to 20 years, while the Democrats are still trying to figure out what they did yesterday.
Yeah. All right, Alvin, let me do.
All right, now, G. All right.
All right, more coming up, y'all. Everybody can get in on the conversation, though. 504-582-9422. More coming up next.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Former NBA All-Star Richard Jefferson was a victim of fraud. A person he hired as an assistant stole almost $5 million from him over the course of several years.
When 2008 and that financial crisis hit and everyone started checking their books to make sure everything was good, it was like, wait a second, something's not right.
While the incident could have left Jefferson bitter, in a conversation on Bloomberg, he talked about why he viewed it as a learning experience.
If you would have told me the day I got drafted that I would own my home, my mom and dad would own their home, and neither of us would have to work again, I would sign up. That's the goal, is to change your life. My life was changed, right? That's how I kept myself not being like, woe is me. And honestly, sometimes it's about your L's.
Jefferson isn't ashamed to talk about it either. He wants his experience to serve as a cautionary tale for young athletes. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Connect with NOLA Public Schools. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X for the latest updates. Sign up for District Digest, our official newsletter where we share district achievements, celebrate student successes, and keep you informed about our vision of providing a high-quality education. And don't miss our school board meetings. Watch in person or live stream on YouTube. Stay informed. Stay engaged. Visit NOLAPublicSchools.com today. Again, that's NOLAPublicSchools.com.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Coming up today at 6, Arnie and Carrie is going to take place. Don't y'all forget to ask when Arnie Felco comes through the door. Is he going to be here today? He going to be? Yeah, thanks. Okay. Y'all ask Arnie Felco, is he running for mayor? Because that's the big rumor. I told him I was going to tell it. He was like, no, don't do that. I'm sorry, I don't have an Arnie Felco invitation yet. I'm going to work on it, though. Mm-hmm. But I'm hearing that he's going to run for mayor. He's throwing his hat in the ring. I'm just saying, I don't know. But y'all can ask him. He'll be here in about 35 minutes. He's going to get me for that one. The other thing, too, that I wanted to make sure that I said it again. I did say it at 4 o'clock, but I want to say it again. Happy birthday to the Honorable Judge Dale Atkins, who celebrated her birthday on yesterday, but she's still celebrating today. So congratulations. Another year around the earth, around the sun, to the Honorable Dale Atkins, celebrating her birthday. All right, the other thing, too, that I want to bring up in this whole scenario of issues, when we started talking about this, don't get lost in the conversation piece. The Supreme Court, that's what I wanted to bring up. The Supreme Court is now having arguments about the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese, being able to run and have charter schools and apply for them. The justices heard arguments from the Supreme Court in a landmark dispute in Oklahoma, where the state Supreme Court last year blocked the Catholic Church from receiving a charter school contract on grounds that it violated state and federal constitutional bans on government-sponsored sectarian education. A decision overruling the state high court would have ripple effects nationwide, especially in the 45 states that are home to 8,000 charter schools serving more than 3.8 million kids. Now, I want to throw something else out here that some folks in New Orleans may not look at, but I have to look at it this way. I got family members, kids, young folks, teenagers in my family that attend charter schools all over the country. And I got to tell you, charter schools in other places are run a whole lot different than what we see. Some of the charter schools that my family members, their kids attend, are excellent. They're almost like college. I'm like, wow, y'all doing that in school? They're like, yup. I said, how you like the school? Man, we love it. But they also have, well, let me rephrase that. They also have folks that are educators making decisions on how these schools should be going. Not a whole bunch of political BS, not a whole bunch of political, and not one woman that's got more money than God telling a whole board what to do. I don't have to call no names. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And then have a whole bunch of yes men that even look like us that should really understand that your vote and who you are publicly doesn't even count. You are a has-been. I don't even need to say who that is. Y'all can understand who that is. So it's a shame and a disgrace that we get all the way down here in the South And the charter schools don't have the same oomph to them, the same, what's a good way to say it? That some of the dumbing down, that's a good way to put it, the dumbing down of our students actually comes from the curriculum that is being put forth. And it makes me say and ask the question, all this money that we spend on buildings, 50 million here, 75 million here, we paying these white guys that own these contracts and put them up there, and they kin to some folks that they're going to come and work for them. I never forget this. They had a guy that was working as a contractor. He couldn't get a job nowhere else, but he was working with someone as a contractor. I think it was his brother that was just screwing in light bulbs at the school, making $40 and $50 an hour. I'm like, what? Yeah, had a long pole, put the light bulb in the end of the little thing, and then hold it up to the ceiling and screw the light bulb in. He making $40 and $50 an hour. That's your money. No real oversight on how these contracts were going, what we paying people. And then the same thing happened with the bus contracts. It's amazing to me. Now I'm going to kind of come back down here and talk about us. It's amazing to me that we sat back and let all that money go to waste. Or all the people that came in from all over the world. I never forget when the radio station was on with Gentilly Boulevard. I'm trying to figure out who was that. Somebody came over and said, man, they're building a school over here. You need to go over there and see for yourself, Gerard. And I got in my car. Now I drove over there to see. And I pulled up, and this white guy was standing outside, and he was helping doing the bricks. He was doing bricks and this and da-da-da-da. And I said, excuse me, sir, how you doing? Da-da-da-da. What is the contractor's name that does this? Da-da-da? He said, he turned around with his blonde hair and his deep blue eyes, speaking to me in Dutch. And I was like, wow. We couldn't bring nobody here locally to mix the cement and bring the bricks so that y'all could lay them? Y'all went all the way overseas, and this man is speaking to me in Dutch? But we allowed that to happen. Because my representation didn't give a damn. So why am I so dogmatic on these folks talking about contracts for the city and contract for the city? Y'all need to shut the hell up talking about trash. We got enough trash in the city that we need to have 4 or 5 more contracts. And I ain't talking about trash on the ground. I'm talking about some of these folks that the damn operate the system. Y'all trash. Somebody need to throw your ass in a big old bin and throw you in daggone the trash collection place. What's the name of that place? Y'all know what I'm talking about. We operate in trash. Some of y'all is trash. And you know it. You don't give a damn about nobody but yourself. You sitting around going to the legislature to get a daggone contract that can be read by the state instead of going by what's here because you don't want nobody to win. You just operating the same way that they've been operating black folks for 50 years here. Y'all can't have nothing. And you sure can't have no black folks with no money because when it's time for election time, when it's time for something to be built, when there's development that's being started, you need to be able to bow down and come and ask us for the money. Who you think you are, Negro? You got money? It's the same thing here. And then you get beat over the head because you know what happened? If you raise up now and say something, they're going to try to take you to court. Oh, we're going to take this to the Supreme Court. Don't nobody believe in the Supreme Court like they used to. Hell, the black man on the Supreme Court is being called trash. But I've never seen a city that don't take these subjects and sit down and have think tanks about how we going to make this work. How we going to make sure that they don't get it right? How we going to make sure that we get involved? But we will spend all damn day on YouTube learning how to say, where them fans at? And do the dance. We're teaching our kids how to do the dance, but you ain't teaching your kid how to read, how to write, how to even get involved in politics and understand civics. We have gotten to the point now where you either gonna do or don't. And I'm gonna put this out here too. Oh boy, y'all done got me all wired up, so let me go ahead on and put this out here too. When y'all gonna complain about that damn app? Hello? Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Why are you putting your kid in a school by using an app? Standing outside like herded cows, waiting to get in to fill out an application, and you got to have 3 choices. Hold on, let me sing it again for you. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Pow, pow, pow. Boy, y'all do that like you professional. But you singing like a deer in the headlights when it come to education. Y'all know that I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was sitting, this is how long ago. If I call her right now, he's going to be like, bro, you remember that? I was sitting in his truck. He used to have a blue Ford 150, F-150. Who you talking about? Who you talking about? I'm going to tell you in a minute. Y'all hold on. And I was talking to him because he went over to, what's the name of that playground on the West Bank off of Wall Boulevard? Oakwood? Is that Oakwood or Oak something? Because his boys are over there playing basketball. And I said, say, bro, what's this book? He was reading this book in his truck. And I just picked it up. And he started laughing. I said, man, what is this? He said, gee, this is about education and the number of dollars that corporations are going to invest into education, because this is the next multi-million-dollar scheme that corporations are going to get into, because a lot of the money and other stuff has dried up. I said, what? I said, you tripping. He said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I said, yeah, you tripping. He said, bro, you just wait. You going to call me back. Now, this got to be about 20 years ago. He said, you going to call me back. And you going to tell me I knew what I was talking about. I said, no, I ain't, bro. Education is just that. It's just education so our kids can do better, and it's going to expand and yada, yada. He said, not down here. This is the new get up. I said, can't be. And the next thing I know, here come the corporation sponsoring charter schools doing this. Being brought to you by. Gonna get involved. I had to call him up. I said, bro, you was right. I don't want to tell his name because y'all gonna call him up. And I don't have permission right now to tell it. But I called him up. I said, bruh. He said, you want to apologize? I said, yup. Let me apologize right now. He said, remember, I'm a mechanical engineer. So that I'm telling y'all who it is right now. Y'all know who it is. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I just got let go from Tulane University because they wanted to put in a ball program. I said, damn, Dr. Mackey. Oops. I wasn't supposed to tell it. Oops. Uh-oh. And he said, that's the book you need to pay attention to. Hey, Miss Pam.
Hey, baby. How are you all?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to say something real quick, and I'm going to get off the phone. I remember when coming up back in the day, I'm from the 60s, and I remember wherever you lived at is where you went to school. And
neighborhood schools.
It shouldn't be that hard that, like, if I lived in a neighborhood, the nearest school you went to, and you didn't have to pay anything, 25 cents for lunch, 10 cents for breakfast. I just don't know. I don't know what happened. But that's all I wanted to say, Gerard.
What happened? It became a money-making entity. Think about something. So let me go back over what you just said. You talked about the neighborhood schools. That's number one.
Yes. Yes.
Neighborhood schools kind of went away for a lot of folks. Why? Because we then had, at the same time that we were doing these contracts for these charter schools, that we were also doing bus contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was making some money, so we had to make sure that we could bus those kids to those different schools. Now, you're applying for a school, this person's applying for a school, and another mother's applying for these schools. Then you had what they called a number of seats for these classrooms, and after they got full, that's it. So you be on the one app asking for three places that you want your kids to go instead of saying, oh, that's where your kid need to be. So I'm thinking, as I hear that, I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't the kids in the neighborhood get the first right of refusal?
First access.
Right.
First access.
Instead of somebody that's on the other side of the river being able to be bused
that one
to your school.
Right. I agree.
And I thought that's what they were fighting for. But that didn't happen.
And if I can recall, I believe you're from North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And see, I grew up in Nevada.
Okay.
This didn't happen there.
Nope.
Field trips were free.
Nope. Look, my niece, my sister's son's daughter, I know that's a whole lot. She goes to a charter school. She goes to a charter school. And I'm going to tell you, it was not classified as the best charter school in the Raleigh-Durham area, but it was in the top 5. And some of this stuff that y'all hear me talking about school sometime, and y'all think that, oh, Gerard brought back an idea. He excellent for that. I'm just repeating what I see. I didn't make that up. I appreciate somebody giving me the compliment, but no. They even got the bus system up there to a T where you trying to figure out where your child is. Your child's bus has a tracker on it. You can pull it up on it actually on my sister's phone. The bus doesn't come all the way down the street because it's hard for them to turn around where she lives.
Right.
But when that bus is coming within a block of the house, it actually dings the phone to let you know that the bus is in the vicinity for you to be able to come and get your child.
Wow.
We trying to get air conditioning. They got air conditioning.
Oh, my gosh.
They got air conditioning. They got electric buses. They got the whole deal. I'm trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. This city is bigger than Raleigh-Durham. Why in the world we got to go through this? And what I figured out is what you want to happen.
Right.
It's not about you having the money or not having the money. You got the money. It's about how and who is taking that money and putting it toward. And this ain't private school. This is public school. These are charter schools.
Right. Now, Gerard, I don't mean to cut you off. See, where I grew up in Reno, Nevada, I mean, every field trip was free. All you had to do is, you know, if you were going on a long field trip, you were just so excited, you know, and everybody was friends and stuff, and you had your little lunchbox. You used to have the little aluminum lunchbox. I had one of my lunchboxes was Charlie Chaplin, I guess I might be saying it wrong, but the comedian. I had one of those. I had Fred Flintstone, and when I got my first actual black aluminum, you know, that you open up, you put all your little stuff in, you close it and clamp it down. I believe that, shucks. I can't recall, and I don't want to call the wrong name. Excuse me, because I'm 63 years old. But we didn't have to worry about that.
Hold that thought. I got to take my break here. I'm going to come back because I'm going to just say this right now. You can comment when I come back because we ain't had no lunch boxes. You were bougie here. You was just bougie. Hold that thought. I'm coming right back. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris.
Certainly true of those tariffs. Tariffs that, as I predicted, are clearly inviting a recession. But friends, please let us not be duped into thinking everything is chaos. I know it may feel that way, but understand what we are in fact witnessing is a high velocity event where a vessel is being used for the swift implementation of an agenda that has been decades in the making. An agenda to slash public education, an agenda to shrink government and then privatize its services.
That was former Vice President Kamala Harris at the Emerge Gala. Harris torched Trump's first 100 days of his second term, calling it the greatest man-made economic crisis in modern presidential history, and warned that his Project 2025 agenda is taking America to the brink of a constitutional meltdown. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As the French Quarter Festival was coming to a close, a 36-year-old man brazenly opened fire in front of New Orleans police officers, wounding 5 people. It is a horrifying reminder of how quickly joy and celebration can turn into chaos and fear. Now, what makes this incident even more disturbing is what it reveals about the law, or the lack of it. Earlier this year, you'll recall, the Louisiana State Legislature passed a law allowing permitless concealed carry. Now, that means anyone over 18 can legally carry a hidden firearm in public. No permit, no background check, no training required. Let that sink in. No authorization, no checking to see whether someone shouldn't have a gun, no training to make sure someone knows how to use a gun. Just a gun in their pocket, waistband, jacket, or on their ankle. Police are expected to manage crowded events, busy city streets, and tense situations without being able to question who's carrying a weapon until it's already too late. Their hands are tied, and we are left vulnerable. Any irresponsible ass with a gun is free to put your life and my life at risk. Now, this isn't about gun rights. It's about basic responsibility. Requiring permits and training isn't an infringement. Duh. It's just common sense. It protects the public, and it protects the officers who put their lives on the line every day. Now, if a man can open fire right in front of law enforcement during a festival, maybe it's time the state legislature admits this law needs a second look. This can't be about politics. This must be about public safety. It's time to give police a chance to protect us before lives are lost. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
The second weekend of Jazz Fest is here. Don't miss Lenny Kravitz,
Thames, Patti LaBelle, Trombone Shorty, Kamasi Washington, The Wailers featuring Julian Marley, Lettucey sings Nina, Morris Day and The Time, Ricky Dillard and New G, Terrence Blanchard, and hundreds more. The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. Tickets and info at nojazzfest.com. Miller Lite, official sponsor of Jazz Fest.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
This is Jackie Jones with Class Act Entertainment. Join us on May 11 at the Honor Thy Mother Theater Brunch in partnership with WBOK at the Jean Lafitte Auditorium. Experience the red carpet with live interviews and photo ops, along with a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Highlighting the afternoon is the original stage play, Mama. The finale, live concert with Piano Man G. Get your tickets at 504-491-1179.
Uptown, downtown. Wherever you are, keep it locked in to WBOK.
The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. All right, call my good friend Barry Wright, too. He sent me a text message saying all this stuff going on over at the Vault. I know that on May 4th, what's that, this Sunday? They're having their gospel brunch. They bringing Rochelle Cook out. Not a cookout. They're bringing her out. So Rochelle Cook going to be there. Kobe Singleton, he going to be there. And anybody that want to go, if you want to eat, it's at the Vault. That is, let me see. The number 504-453-2720. Y'all cool. I'm going to try to take the sheriff over there and get us some good food. I don't think you're going over for the $20 for the whole table. Don't think that. Call. Get your information so that you'll know. Miss Pam?
Yes, I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
We're
saying
gonna
you
go
was
back to our
bougie. You had a metal lunch bag. We got ours in a paper bag. That's it. It was a brown paper bag.
Well, baby, I lived in a lot of snow.
A lot of snow? We did too.
Well, no, I was in, but Sierra Mountains. That's what, I'm just going to take you there. It was just always good fun. I mean, my little lunchbox, that little snap when you shut it down and it snaps. It's the lovely of that sound because I knew my lunchbox was full. So I had a Scooby-Dooby-Doo lunchbox. And it had a thermos in it, and I could put cold or I could put hot.
I'm not even going to say anything about that Scooby-Doo lunchbox. I'm not going to say no. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Wait, babe.
No, I was talking to somebody else, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm just telling you what happened to me and where it came from. I can't help where Mama gave me birth to. But anyway, the field trips were always free. They were always free. And what I loved about it, you could count the black families on one hand, and all of us were friends and family. A lot of indigenous people and some Asians, and very white. And I mean, we just work together, and I want to try to actually help people go back to. Look, we're all human beings.
Yeah, times have changed, though, Miss Pam. We don't know who to
I
trust.
know they
I don't like nobody around my kids. You don't like nobody around your kids. You don't want nobody to tell your kids
Yes.
nothing. So
Okay, we're
that's
there.
how our times
We're
have
there.
changed.
But we still always had our community.
We had our what?
And my people are from New Orleans. And that's what I learned from the white side of where I used to live and grew up in, and the black side of my real culture. This is my culture. We have to fight for our rights. And it's nothing wrong with fighting. But don't be scared to fight. See? That's the thing. Don't be scared to fight. Because I remember all these things. I'm going on 64 years old. And let me tell you something. There is nothing better than me being here, because this is where I always wanted to be. My mother is from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
Her mother, New
All right.
Orleans, Louisiana.
I got
And
you.
that's my people.
Okay.
But there's still a fight that we can have. Let's get together. Let's get together. Stop fighting each other. And leave that orange. Okay. Leave that one alone, because I almost went there.
All right.
We leave that alone, and we got to go on.
Well,
Move
look,
on.
I gotta
love
go.
you, baby. Take care of yourself.
All right. Talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. So I wish it was that simple. I wish it was. But this has become political. It's about money now. It's political money. And the people that end up hurting the whole scenario ain't them. It's us, especially the poor. Or the, I don't want to say ignorant, but the ones who don't understand the politics of education. It's a whole bunch of politics. All right. I can remember back in the day when all of our students and all of our teachers had political power themselves. I'm talking about here. I ain't talking about North Carolina. I'm talking about here. It's called UTNO. We're going to have that conversation too. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap things up for me. Arnie and Carrie coming up next. Don't forget, ask Arnie. Ask Arnie. You running for mayor? Ask him, y'all. That's going to do it for me. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good day.
Have you heard the secret?